Okay, I'm gonna need you guys to laugh with me about something because it's so much easier than crying, and I don't want to cry about this anymore. I've been crying for too long. To make a long story as short as I possibly can, about 3 years ago, I had a tremendous amount of weight loss. It was very unhealthy, it wasn't good for my body, and I lost all the body fat in my breasts. And I got my boobs done so that I could fill in the extra space that I had created. When I decided to get that surgery done, I did a bunch of research. At least I thought I did a bunch of research. I asked a lot of people who had had these procedures done as well, and they all recommended doing it under the muscle because it was the thing that everybody was doing at the time. Even my doctor recommended it. So I went ahead and said, let's do it. Let's get these under the muscle implants. It's gonna be awesome. I got them done. They looked beautiful. Like, I was able to start making content immediately. I was really happy with the way that they turned out visually. And as time went on, they looked great the entire time. They just looked like different versions of themselves as I gained and lost fat, because I ended up gaining all of that fat back and they got way bigger than I expected them to ever get. The downside to that was, though, almost immediately after getting that surgery, I started having pain in my right lower breast. And I was told that it was because the implant was possibly sitting on a nerve and that sometimes I was going to feel a little bit of pain there. That was just the way that it is. But throughout the 2 or 3 years that I've had those implants, I kept feeling more and more pain, and I also started having issues with what they call contracture. And that's where the muscles actually tighten up around the implants and pull them in weird ways. It was pulling it into my armpits, it was pinching, it was uncomfortable, it was a sensory nightmare for someone like me, and I was also having all of the pain in my right breast. And I finally got tired of it last year because I've been trying to get back to working out again, and it was really getting in my way. So I talked to my doctor, and he recommended that I get them taken out and put back into the fatty tissue instead of underneath the muscle. I loved the way they look. Let me remind you of that. I just hated the way that they feel. So he told me that they were going to look almost exactly the same because we're using the same implants. It would be a really simple surgery. So I was like, sweet, we can get this done. Then I can just move on with my life and get back to having fun and making content. But sadly, almost immediately after this surgery, something wasn't right. I started feeling pain really quickly in my right side. There was some in the left, but that all kind of figured itself out eventually. And the right side just kept getting harder and hurting more. And I went to the doctor about 3 weeks after my surgery, and he told me that there's no way it could be what we both thought it was. So he sent me home with steroids and muscle relaxers and stuff to try to help fix the issue that I was having. So 3 weeks later, here we are. I just talked to my doctor yesterday, and he came in, he looked, we talked, and it is 100% some form of encapsulation. So if you can, I don't know if you can tell, or maybe you've noticed while I've been talking, I have, this breast just kind of sits naturally in my top like it's supposed to. And this guy is over here just doing its own thing, and it's hard. So when you get encapsulated, calcium covers the implant and it hardens up around it. And as time goes on, it gets harder and more uncomfortable. So he suggested we get this out as fast as possible, clean it out, do the whole thing, put it back in, be really, really careful to make sure it heals carefully. And that's what I'm hoping will happen over the next couple of weeks, because I have surgery scheduled about a week and a half from now, and we will see how it goes. I wanted to make sure that I took a second to share this with you guys, because I know that there's a lot of people out there thinking about getting their boobs done, and I want you to make sure that you do enough research. You know what you're getting done, why you're getting it, and what worst case scenario could be, because you might get yourself caught up in a situation where you're stuck in a situation and you have to go under the knife again and there's nothing you can really do about it. So just make sure you do your research. Wish me luck on this surgery. I will be doing a little bit more detailed video probably on my subscriber pages so that I can show what it looks like in bras and stuff. So if you're interested in checking out the sideshow, you know where to go. Other than that, have a fantastic day, and thank you for hanging out on this journey with me.